What if I told you that becoming a ghost doesn't require dying, haunting a house, or floating around in a white sheet scaring people? No. The modern ghost doesn't creak floorboards at night. The modern ghost is silent, untouchable, and invisible in plain sight. The modern ghost is the one who learns the forbidden skill that terrifies everyone else, emotional silence. And before you laugh, before you roll your eyes and tell me that sounds like some edgy internet nonsense, tell me this: how many times have your emotions betrayed you? How many times have they dragged you into wars you never wanted to fight? Arguments you never wanted to have, and heartbreaks you swore you'd never repeat. Exactly. See, the problem isn't that you feel too much. The problem is that you believe your feelings are some sacred truth carved into stone. You act like every flicker of sadness, every rush of anger, every desperate craving for validation is a holy signal you must obey. Newsflash, it's not. It's just a chemical storm. A glitch in your brain that tricks you into believing it's destiny. Ghosts don't get tricked. Ghosts don't flinch. Ghosts don't beg. Ghosts stay silent. And here's the terrifying part. Silence is more powerful than noise. Think about it. People are addicted to reaction. They need you to smile, to nod, to validate them. They need you to snap, to argue, to scream. Because even your anger is still attention. But when you become emotionally silent, when you cut the wires and stop feeding the machine, you become something people can't process. You turn into static. You're there, but you're unreachable. And that drives them insane. Most people can't stand silence. They rush to fill it with apologies, excuses, drama, and noise. But ghosts thrive in silence. When you don't react, you control the room. When you don't flinch, people expose themselves. They reveal their desperation, their weakness, their hunger for acknowledgement. You just stand there, untouchable. Do you understand how dangerous that makes you? But let's be clear, this isn't about becoming a robot. This isn't about never feeling. It's about control. It's about deciding which emotions deserve to escape and which ones you bury alive in the graveyard of your mind. Because the truth is brutal. If you can't master your emotions, someone else will. They'll push the buttons. They'll twist the knobs. They'll play you like an instrument. Your anger will be their weapon. Your heartbreak will be their entertainment. Your fear will be their leverage. And you'll keep wondering why life feels like a puppet show you never agreed to star in. So yes, becoming ghost-like isn't about hiding. It's about refusing to be controlled. It's about disappearing from the battlefield everyone else is addicted to. Imagine how unsettling it is when someone tries to provoke you and you give them nothing. Not rage, not tears, not validation, just silence. That's scarier than any scream. That's when they realize they're not fighting you, they're fighting themselves. But let's get darker. Emotional silence isn't just a trick to outsmart other people. It's a weapon you can turn inward. Think about how much of your life is dictated by the noise in your own head. The overthinking, the imaginary conversations, the flashbacks you replay like a broken VHS tape, the scenarios you invent at 3 a.m. as if torturing yourself counts as problem solving. If you learn emotional silence, you don't just ignore other people, You learn to ghost your own demons. You stop giving them airtime. You let them scream, but you don't answer. And slowly, they starve. Of course, this terrifies people. Society doesn't want you emotionally silent. It wants you reactive, predictable, and addicted to the drama loop. That's why social media exists. Every scroll is a tug on your emotions. Outrage, envy, lust, pity. It keeps you hooked. A ghost cuts that chain. A ghost doesn't need to broadcast every mood. A ghost isn't performing for likes. A ghost vanishes into the shadows and watches everyone else dance like puppets in the neon circus. Do you realize how powerful that is? Emotional silence makes you unpredictable. Unpredictability is power. People can't manipulate what they can't read. They can't control what they can't reach. The ghost doesn't have to win arguments because the ghost doesn't even enter them. The ghost doesn't have to prove worth because the ghost stopped begging for recognition in the first place. And maybe you're thinking, that sounds lonely. Maybe it is. But loneliness loses its teeth when you understand it's better to be invincible than to be controlled. Ghosts walk alone, yes, but they walk free. They don't get dragged into toxic cycles. They don't get trapped in someone else's emotional prison. And isn't that the whole point? To be free? Now here's the sarcastic twist. If you want to stay a prisoner of your own feelings, by all means. Keep wearing your heart on your sleeve like it's a fashion accessory. Keep screaming at people who don't care. Keep begging for attention from people who forgot your name 3 minutes after you texted them. Keep letting strangers online dictate your self-worth with a like button. That's fine. That's normal. That's exactly how the system wants you. But don't you dare call yourself strong. Strong people don't explode every time they're provoked. Strong people don't cry for validation from ghosts who don't care about them. Strong people master silence. So, do you really want to be like a ghost? Then vanish where it matters most, in your emotions. Disappear from the battlefield of pointless reactions. Refuse to play the game. Stop explaining yourself. Stop defending your worth. Stop rehearsing arguments that no one will ever hear. The world feeds on your noise. Don't give it any. Ghosts don't scream. They linger. They watch. They endure. And here's the final truth. The world forgets noise, but it never forgets silence. The quietest people leave the loudest marks because their absence echoes longer than presence ever could. That's the paradox. That's the power. Everyone else is too busy shouting into the void, hoping someone claps back. You just fade and become unforgettable. So master emotional silence. Not tomorrow. Not someday. Now. Because every second you waste reacting, you give away your power. Every second you stay loud, you stay chained. And maybe one day you'll wake up and realize you've been nothing but noise in someone else's story. But ghosts don't play supporting roles. Ghosts don't audition. Ghosts haunt. Ghosts endure. Ghosts remain. So I'll ask again, do you want to be like a ghost? Then vanish. Shut the doors. Seal the cracks. Let silence drip from your veins until the world looks at you and whispers, "What happened to them?" That's when you'll know. You've mastered the one skill no one else dares to learn. Emotional silence. The final vanishing act.